Okay, everybody, looking at the day 4 answer key here, had some people asking for it. I'm going to give you at least the first part of it where we name each test. So you can know and you can move on from there and start doing the tests. So number one, USA Today reported that in 1992, 39% of all elementary school students claimed that when they grow up, they want to do something to help other people. However, in 1995, 128 out of the 317 claimed Does the information indicate that there's been an attitude change? Okay, well, we're talking proportions. It's a yes or no question again, so it's definitely a proportion. And we're comparing the two. Has there been an attitude change? So what we're going to do is we're going to call this we can do a 1 proportion and compare it to 39%. Because they did not tell us enough information essentially about the poll in 1992 to do a 2 proportion thing. We don't know how many people they sampled. We don't know anything. We're just trying to tell if it's different than 39%. So this is going to be a 1 proportion z-test. And then in 1975, a random sample of 1,484 adults surveyed and 193 strongly agreed as a statement. So it's a strongly agree or not. Then in 1991, the survey, okay, so they tell us how big each one is here. So we can actually make 2 sampling distributions. Does that indicate that the proportion of US adults who are given has dropped? Test. Okay, so this is a 2 proportion z-test. And again, the reason why we know that is because they told us about the 2 samples. Okay, up here, we'd like to do a 2 proportion test in number 1, but they didn't tell us enough about the sample. So in number 2, they told us about the sample. So then we can deal with that. We can do a 2 proportion z-test. Number 3, to compare 2 dog training programs in obedience school, 43 dogs for A, 41 dogs using B. Okay, they're setting up some kind of experiment. Hopefully they did a random assignment there. For program A, the average number of training hours was required was 24.8, standard deviation 3.1. For program B, the mean was 22.9, standard deviation. Is there a significant difference? Okay, so we took 2 samples, since we're comparing 2 means. So this is a 2 sample t-test for means or for mu or whatever. Okay, or difference in means. Okay. Number 4, the Reading Nook bookstore has 750 retail outlets across the store. The sales director wanted to see if Christmas, music effects. So this is a Christmas music thing. This is just like the wine example that we did. But there's, she randomly assigned some of the outlets to pipe in music and others not to. And then sales records for the month were kept. The results were shown on the table. Test the hypothesis. So with music and without music in the 3 categories. So let's see. That sales and Christmas music are independent. Yeah. So were these different? Sales rep wanted to see. She randomly assigned some of the outlets to pipe in music and others not to. So it's a chi-squared test. Now the question is independence or homogeneity. So how many samples did she take here? I guess she's not trying to tell if this population is different than this population. Well, and those are just different sales. Those aren't size stores. So I'm going to do chi-squared test for independence. All right. Snoop Incorporated is a firm that does market surveys. Rollum Sounds hired Snoop. All right. So customer age groups you got here, and then you got percent and Snoop reports here, and then customers in the sample. So this right now, this is not it's not really a 2-way table. It's just here are the different categories and here are the percentages. And we kind of expected this is going to be a goodness of fit test. in this situation. See how there's not two different columns? They just said number of customers in the sample over here. No, wait, let's look. No, I think we could, yeah, this is proportion. Okay. So this is a chi-squared test for goodness of fit. Again, we're not comparing two populations, that's why. There's not two columns here, there's only one column. All right. 500 adults participate in a comparison of the effectiveness of 3 arthritic pain relievers. Each participant used one of 3 medications for 1 month and then asked if the product was effective. The results are as follows. Do the sample proportions differ significantly? So this is, again, it is a chi-squared test. And it was effective or not. And there's 3. If this would just be 2 columns, we could just do a 2 proportion. Here we're doing a 3, and it's just a yes, no. So I guess you could ignore the no's here and just turn it into a percentage here. So you could do a chi-squared goodness of fit again. Against the hypothesis that these would all be equal. That would be a good way to go. Otherwise, you could check to see if the distributions in these 3 groups were the same. So, or you could do a chi-squared. They did 1 sample, but they divided it up into 3 groups. So chi-squared test for homogeneity. Oh, now I'm going to try to spell that. Geneity. Oh, Google liked it. All right. Gannon is supposed to put 29.6 grams of fruit in the fruit-flavored yogurt to see if enough fruit is being placed in the cup. Quality inspector measures the amount in 27 containers. She found an average of 28. Okay, does this show? Okay. So this is, she's doing an average, and it's only 1 sample. She's not comparing 2 different samples. She's pairing 1 sample, 1 sample to a standard. So this is a 1 sample, 1 sample t-test for mean. Okay. Let's see. Number 8. A leading auto manufacturer claimed that the popular version of its minivan was available in the Midwest for an average price of this, the standard deviation of this. The consumer group doubted the report and surveyed 50 recent purchasers and came up with this. Does this show that the manufacturer's false claim? Okay, so here's a weird thing. This is one of those weird tests. Because they told us the standard deviation, we get to use a z-test here. Let me just double check to see if that's a possibility. No, it's not. We're still going to use a t-test. All right. So we really wouldn't have to here, but we're going to do a 1 sample t-test for means, for a mean. Okay, number 9. Shoe manufacturers develop new running shoes and enables one to run faster. 8 adults participated in an experiment in which each mile ran with the regular track shoes. The next day ran with new. Okay, their running times. So this is where it's, this person has 2, and they're looking at the difference between these 2, and they're going to look at that. So this is the matched pairs T's test for. So that's what this one's going to be. It's a, let's see what they call it, matched pairs T test. All right, number 10. And then the following comes from a study of small cities. Residents regard to eating frequent bias. Okay, so you got these different cities, you got the population, you got eating out. Is there a significant association between the population of the city and the percent of those who ate out? The following comes from a study of small cities in Illinois. So this is one sample here. So this is a chi-square test for association. And then we'll do another video for this big part here in the middle where we're dealing with the claims and all that. And we'll get working on that key later on. So I'm going to stop the recording and we will see you later.